Welcome to Easy English. It's going to be grammar as we decided. What exactly in grammar? I don't want to complicate it with terminology. I just want to keep it simple. My way of keeping it simple would be to start with IELTS. When it comes to learning grammar for IELTS, writing task 2. How many sentences do you think you'd have to write in a 250-word essay? I'd say 14 or 15. So if you want to achieve grammatical range along with accuracy in your IELTS writing, for the range part, you would probably just need to know around 15 sentences, one of which would be a simple sentence. So then why not start with a simple sentence? A simple sentence has a subject and a verb. Well, it said a subject and a predicate, but yeah, subject and a tail ending, a head and a tail. Yes, let's call it any which way. But essentially, subject and verb. I walk. I is the subject, walk is the verb. I walk to school. That is also a sentence with a little bit more added there. I walk to school every day. That's further some elaboration. In that way, we can keep adding and the sentence becomes long. Sometimes it is the subject that we lengthen up. Using computers in classrooms is useful. Now, using computers in classrooms is the subject. It's a very long subject and students get confused with that. So the first thing to understand is subject can be very small, like I, and it can be very long, like using computers in classrooms. It can be even longer than that. So the thing is to be able to identify subject. The way to identify subject is probably to be able to recognize the verb, the action verb, the verb of being. In this case, I walk. Walk is the verb. But using computers in classrooms is the verb. Is useful. Now let's not worry what part of speech useful is. It's not useful to us as of now. We just want to know, we should be able to identify a subject and a verb, no matter how long the subject. The verb can give us the clue. Okay, this is the verb here. This is an action word. Something is happening or something is shown as existing. It's a verb. So whatever comes before that, no matter how long, is a subject. Now, if you're able to identify that, you would be able to make your subject agree with the verb. In simple terms, he walks. They walk. So, typically it's said when subject is singular, the verb should be singular. Now, that's again confusing for some students. Subject singular, like computer. Singular with no S there. Computer helps in our work. Computer helps. So help is a verb there and it takes an S with it. Computer is a useful tool. Is a verb and it has an S. An easy way to remember this is generally between the subject and the verb, there is only one S. He, no S, is S. He, no S, takes S. He, no S, has, takes an S. He likes, he helps. You can add whatever you want after that. I don't care very much, but I do care whether your subject agrees with the verb. Why do we need to know subject and verb? One of the common mistakes that happens when you write a simple sentence is merely the subject-verb agreement. The subject should agree with the verb. Like encouraging children to engage in physical activities is important. Has to be given priority. Demands effort from parents. Requires sensitizing them towards the importance of exercise. Requires making them aware about the importance of exercise. Any which way, it doesn't matter what comes after, but then requires takes an S, is takes an S, helps takes an S when the subject is singular. Now, how do you decide the subject is singular? Because activities is plural and it has an S. So again, if you know the true subject, using, it's singular. Engaging, encouraging, it's singular. Encouraging children is important. Encouraging children to engage in physical activities is important. Encouraging him is important. Encouraging them is also important. So whatever you put after that, whatever you're encouraging, whoever you're encouraging, the subject is encouraging. So the true subject is that. So recognizing the true subject takes a little bit practice, but this is one of the typical errors that I've noticed. When there is an ing subject, students are often confused and they take the noun that is close to the verb to be the true subject, which it is not. Now you should remember that not just the big verbs, but the small ones like is, has, even the past tenses like was follow the same rule, that is between the subject and the verb only one S. At the same time, don't be confused with people and children. They don't take an S, but they are plural. So in that situation, though they don't have an S in front of them, we'll still not give an S to our verb. People are, not is. Children are, not is. Well, in some situations you have to remember that there are words which are plural but they don't have an S. God, how English confuses us. We can't even have a rule. I walk. Take them as our exception to the rule. So once you're clear with simple sentences, you would understand that writing very long sentences with a very long subject and with a long tail after your verb does not make it a complex sentence. It's still a simple sentence. Long sentences are not complex sentences. In fact, complex sentences can be really short. You don't believe me? I think that I can help you. Is that a long sentence? No. Is that a simple sentence? No. I, subject, think. I think, verb, that. Let's just ignore that for a moment. What comes after that? I think that. I, again subject. But after a verb, we don't have another subject and a verb. I can help. We don't have that unless there's something that can come in between, and that is a conjunction. I think that I can help you. Now don't worry about this can that has come in between. I can help you. That's another helper for the main verb. In fact, these helpers called modals are really useful. Whenever you have a subject-verb agreement confusion, you can add a modal in between. Let's take an example. Computers in classroom helps, or is it help? If you're confused, just put a can in between. Computers in classrooms can help. Because if a can comes in between, or if a may comes in between, then it doesn't really matter whether the verb should have had an S or shouldn't have had an S. It is immaterial. Whatever it should have been, it would not have an S because this model is there in between. And usually in IELTS, we're not very much speaking about facts, but opinions. So when it comes to opinion, you would be very right to add can in between or may in between for many of your ideas. But again, while you follow this rule, do distinguish between fact and opinion, and don't just throw a can and a may in every other sentence. I think that's about enough for today. Let's take up the other 14 types of sentences in the further sessions. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.